We got my boy Javon. Javon's got a tinting business. I'm really interested to pick his mind and see how he started it. And he's so young and he's already killing it. And I'm really curious. He's a good buddy of mine. I haven't really picked his brain on on a bunch of things, but I'm excited to get it going and see what he's about. So, Javon, you got any opening remarks? Are you happy to be here? Are you mad at me for inviting you to be the first guest? What do you think?
Just a little bit.
Okay, just a tad. All right, that's all right. That's all right. Well, dude, I just want to jump into it. Tell me a little bit about your business. Obviously, I've got a little background on it, but to be perfectly honest, like, you're one of my boys, and when you started your tinting thing, I thought it was just going to be a side hustle, and I didn't hear a lot about it before you got started. So I was kind of shocked when it happened, but just tell me how you got into it. Like, what motivated you?
Well, so my my sophomore year at Coastal, I needed my car tinted, and I just couldn't afford it. It's like I went to a shop to try to get it tinted. I got a quote and everything, but like on a college budget, you can't really do much. So I ended up just like going to AutoZone, took some, like, it's a really bad tint. Don't ever go to AutoZone, grab tint and use it on your car.
Okay.
Started purpling like a few weeks, but like I went to AutoZone and got some like really bad tint, put on my car. It wasn't great. Like, you should have seen it. It was terrible. At least the back window was. And then my parents was like, yo, you should do our cars. So I just kept practicing on like all the cars at the house. And I got to the point where after I got my Subaru, like, I just got really comfortable with it. And then everyone was like, yo, you should start your own business. Start your own business. Because I didn't start tinting with the goal of ever it becoming a job. It was just I just wanted to tint just because, like, I like tint. I just like a car that's tinted. Yeah. And because I couldn't afford it, it forced me into learning how to do it myself. And then after my family saw me doing it, and they were like, yo, you should start your own business. And then like when COVID hit, I got into doing mobile. So I just went on Facebook Marketplace, put a listing on there, and I would just like either tint in my driveway, or I would go to people's houses and tint. And it was last year, so I'm just kind of like fast tracking. Yeah. But it was like last year, around this time last year, January, or no, well, it's February now, but in January last year, I had a buddy who does Looking Good auto detailing. So he's down there in Conway, and I met up with him. He found me on Facebook through a customer's car that I did, like a Tesla, like the first ever Tesla I did. And he saw the job I did on the Tesla. He's like, yo, this guy doesn't even have a shop. And he's like, how is this, like, the tint looks this good compared to like what a shop would.
Right, the professionals.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
And then he ended up, he was like, yo, you should just come in here and work with me. And so we literally split a shop for a year until December. I finally got the keys to my own shop. So I'm literally in the same building as him now, but I'm like a few units over from him. Wow. But we still do work together. Like, our first car, both of us did this year, we worked together on it. So I did some tint on it, and he did a ceramic coating on it as well.
So it was kind of like a 1-2 punch almost.
Yeah.
You double dipped. Yeah. That's nice. So tinting, what's the name of your company?
Shade Pro Window Tinting.
Shade Pro Window Tinting. So it's kind of a niche, industry, I guess. So you got into it more just, you wanted it done. It wasn't done, as good as you thought it could have been.
Yeah. I thought it was easy.
Okay. You thought it was easy. And then, is that why you got into it? You thought there was an opportunity with, you go to one of the big franchise guys, they don't do it well. You think it's easy. So you hopped into it. Was it easy?
It wasn't easy. So when I started out, so I was still, while I was in college, I was working at the track, and just remember that go-kart place up there on 17.
Yeah. We used to hit that a bunch.
And I was I was working at the YMCA as Jason's assistant. Right. And after doing my internship there, like, I was still doing tint a lot, like, especially working during the summertime. Like, on my days off, I'll be tinting like 2-3 cars a day or something like that. Right. And I was realizing I was making more money on my days off than I was working there. And it was just more convenient because like I had just bought my car, and I'm like, yo, you have a $500 payment. Like you got to do something about it.
Right.
And I was still working at the YMCA as well too. So it was where whenever I did my internship at the YMCA, I just could not stand being inside, like doing paperwork all day, like just not getting my hands on something.
Right.
And I knew, like, I love cars. Like, since I've grown up, my dad was like a big car person. Like my dad likes to buy like older cars and puts a lot of money into them. Well, not a lot, but puts it to where it pretty much runs like new. Okay. So I kind of took that habit of always wanted to be around cars. Like ever since I was a kid, like my dad, there will be dropping out an engine out of a car, and I'll be right there. So because of that, like I was like, tinting is probably more fitting for me because like I like doing it. And what a lot of people don't realize is like you can actually make a lot of money tinting, especially with now that I'm doing paint protection film as well as window tinting. So paint protection film is like a whole different ball game where you're making, compared to like a $250 tint job, doing like the full front end on a car costs like $2,500, and that can take you a few hours, a day. It just depends. So
okay, so how'd you get started out and it starts as a side hustle? Where do you even go? Obviously, you said you had an interest in cars, so I'm sure you had like somewhat of an interest in learning a little bit about tint. But where do you go to learn how to? There's a bunch of resources on how to start a business. You get your LLC, and maybe you start doing a little bit of marketing, just figure out how you get sales. But where'd you go to learn about tinting? Who's teaching tinting?
So Myrtle Beach Window Tint, they're one of the local shops here. So they actually tried to hire me whenever I just started out. And I went there for an interview, and I had the opportunity to get the job, but I was still in college, and I wasn't going to quit college to pretty much work there full time. So he showed me, the owner there, Dustin, showed me like maybe one trick, and like that trick is stuck with me till today, and like honestly it changed everything. Like just being there for like a few minutes, picking his brain, and like I learned 100% learned to tint off YouTube. 100% learned to tint off YouTube. So
shout out YouTube.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's it all, man. You can learn everything. I should have known. That's where you can learn everything.
Like you learn everything. So I'm a visual learner, so like I learn a lot from YouTube. Like I learned how to work on cars on YouTube, pretty much everything, and you would never tell, like, compared to a lot of like people who are like, oh yeah, I'm a professional tinter. Like if you look at my work I'm OCD too when it comes to tinting. So like I'll like find one little problem I find with the window, and I'll just rip it off and go again. So like I try to like, there's no such thing as perfect, but I always chase it. So that's like one of the things I like kind of kept with me through why I've made it this far with it.
Too, so. High quality, right? Yeah. So what was the one trick you said you learned?
So like when you're tinting a window and you're tucking the tint underneath the gasket, it was like I would force it in there, and I'll end up creasing the tint or something like that. But I realized you got to put a lot more water in there and like pull the gasket back and just like kind of let it fall in.
Oh, okay. So it was something technical. It wasn't just like
it wasn't.
You should start with this and then sell it at this price. It was just a technical.
It was a technical, like it was really the skill, like trying to, because like on YouTube the YouTube channel I watch a lot is like Window Tint Warriors. And funny thing is, I actually met his media team when I went to Florida in January. Okay. I went for the window tint competition. And like I wanted to meet the guy so bad because like, yo, if it wasn't for his YouTube channel, like I don't think I would have made it this far, because like literally he went step by step on like vehicle specific videos where I learned how to like pretty much, because like once you learn how to tint one car, I feel like it's the same process.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I was wondering. I mean, I saw one of your videos. You were doing a Tesla. Those Teslas, they have that crazy big. Back, Is it a window that wraps all over the top of the car?
Yeah, it's a whole different
one big
process.
window.
Yeah, it's one huge window. Okay.
Yeah, so like that's obviously got to be different. A lot harder than, Subaru.
Than my
than your Subaru. Yeah.
Yeah. So that you have to have skills to tint a Tesla. The side windows are easy, but like the back window itself, you're looking at it taking you from start to finish, just doing the whole back window. You're probably looking at like 20, 30 minutes. Because like you have to order a special roll for it. Because like normal 40-inch rolls don't fit that Tesla back window. So you have to order like a bigger roll, and you also have to shrink it sideways compared to shrinking it up and down.
Okay.
Vertically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's the word. But yeah, and then you have to like do a thing called pull shrinking. So it's a whole
lot of technical stuff.
A lot of technical stuff that
people
like,
are. Okay, cool. So you started out. So you started doing it on the side, moved to a little bit more serious, got some encouragement from a local guy, and then so at what point did you start with your buddy? Did you start splitting that shop with your buddy? Like right after that, after you got that advice, you jump into it. Did you start? Is that when you started splitting the shop?
So I went on for like a good 2 years first before that actually happened.
Okay. Oh, that's right. You were doing the mobile.
Yeah, I was doing the mobile stuff.
The mobile. Okay.
And I just took a few years to like perfect my craft before I actually go into a shop. Like I was doing really dirty cars, like really like cars that were like hard.
Yeah.
So the dirtier the car is, the harder it is to tint.
Okay.
Because like you have to fight dirt, and like especially dogs. I mean, not dogs, but cars with dog hair, they're tough because like you're fighting dog hair everywhere. And then you also have those like older classic cars, which I actually did one today, and it took me like 40 minutes compared to back like when I was just starting out. It would take me like 5 hours.
Wow.
So it was different. Like it's the process compared to then and now, it's a whole different. But as far as to what you were saying, so
yeah, with the mobile, how did you start picking up clients? I mean, was it just pure? I'm sure you started with friends, family, probably put through some stuff out on your socials. Hey, I'm doing tinting. If anyone, I mean, what was that like? How'd you even get started with getting clients?
Okay. So I used to use Facebook Marketplace. So you're not allowed to put like list of service on Facebook Marketplace, but like you just have to word it a different way, and
right.
You just put it on there, and people text you through Facebook. Wow. So like literally for like 2 years, I was just on Facebook Marketplace, like replying to people and like set up appointments and stuff like that, and then I started using. Then after I created my business page on Facebook, I was able to run ads. And ads brought in a little bit more customers, like better customers in a sense. And I kind of started looking a little more professional there.
Okay.
And after I started running Facebook ads, it wasn't until I got my LLC in 2021. What's the year? Yep, 2021.
Years ago, yeah.
I made a Google listing page. Or Google My Business page, and after I made that Google my business page, it took everything to a whole different level. Really? Like I was getting higher end customers, and it was a little bit more consistent than Facebook. So like on Facebook, I'll have like weeks where it'd go on where I don't really, maybe say like a week or two that I don't really get that many customers, and then after like getting on Google, my phone was ringing constantly every day, because like I started running ads. So running ads on Google, Google ads is like the weirdest thing. You got to figure out like as far as
I've dove into it a little bit with the Google Analytics, man. It's so much stuff.
It's so much stuff, and it's constantly changing. It's kind of like Facebook and Instagram, like and TikTok.
Yeah,
dude, the algorithm is, for some reason I figured out the algorithm recently with Instagram, but. Or not really figured it out, but I just keep posting. And like I've been getting like 10K plus views on like, at least on my last 3 posts, I've gotten a lot of views on it, because people like.
Those are the paid ads.
No, those are not paid. Those are like all normal traffic, or this it's just organic traffic. Yeah.
Wow, holy cow. Okay, so you started. So you started the market Facebook Marketplace. That was all free, right?
Yeah, Facebook Marketplace.
Was that just you wanted to test out the waters, or were you all in? Were you thinking?
I was all in at that point. Okay. But like for like a year, maybe 2 years, I was running my business. It wasn't even wasn't officially a business. It was just like a side hustle, but I was doing that full time. Like I wasn't working anywhere else besides just tinting, and it was paying the bills. I'll tell you, like it was paying the bills for sure.
Do you think you could have hopped into the Google, the Google My Business and the paying for the Facebook ads? Do you think you could have got into that quickly? Because it sounded like that was over a year span, right?
Yeah.
When you started doing the tinting to the Google My Business and stuff started to explode, right? That was about a year. So do you think you could have got into it quicker? Like if you were going to go back 3 years now, would that time frame to where you're at now, do you think it would have been quicker?
I would probably do it. I would probably the process would be a lot quicker, but I think the way how I did it would be the same way I would do it again, because I don't want to. So like on Google, you're like typically the clients on Google, they're looking for something specific, and they're looking for a professional shop, or even like you can be a mobile guy and still be professional.
Right. Yeah, sure.
But like people on Google, it's different. I feel like compared to Facebook Marketplace. So like Facebook Marketplace, it's typically people are just trying to find the cheapest one.
Right.
Or some guy like, I'm gonna just try this guy out. You know what I mean? Because, but then Google, they're looking for a professional. I feel like that's just like the two difference between the marketplace and Facebook and Google.
So was it not necessarily that you were getting more customers, you were just getting higher paying customers, or was it a combination of more and high paying?
So every now and then you get those high paying customers on Google, or not Google, I mean Marketplace. Okay. But I also only offered one type of tint compared to now I offer like 3 different types. So on Facebook Marketplace, everybody just wanted the cheapest one they could possibly find. And there was a lot of haggling, and like that stuff was just a lot to deal with.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is the cheap guys is probably a harder to sell anyways, and you're getting a lot less. You're getting a lot. It's a cheaper service.
Cheaper service, and I mean they were getting high quality stuff, because like I fully believe in not putting out crappy work, because like if I do that, then even a couple of years down the line it can haunt me. You know what I mean? Right. So I don't want to ever do that. And people, if you do good work for a person, they'll constantly recommend you.
Yeah, for referral marketing.
Because I've had customers that I've gone through Facebook Marketplace who still like they stay loyal to me till this day, just because like the quality of work I gave them the first time they came to me. So
is that where you're getting a lot of your work today? Is it a lot of are you still running a bunch of ads, or are you getting a lot from people recommending you from a past job?
So honestly, this winter, it's been a lot of recommendations, and every now and then, like I'd say probably like 2 to 3 Google customers a week, like new customers. But I've been getting a lot of recommendations recently, and it's I feel like it's nice though. It's nice to be known. So it's like now it's kind of cheaper. Like slower. Yeah.
We don't like spending the money on ads sometimes. Sometimes you have to do it, but
like ads, it's just like figuring out ads right now. So I spend a lot of my time, like if I'm not at like hanging out with you guys or whatever, I'm in the house like on YouTube, like trying to figure out how this ad system worked. But now like I've just gotten to the point where like I'm taking on too much. So Hunter's brother, Sully, he's doing my my Google ads now.
Oh really?
So like he's working with like a new company, and I think he's going to school for marketing as well. So I'm like this is a perfect opportunity.
It's almost like an intern. Are you paying him?
Yeah, I'm paying him.
Oh wow.
I'm not. I wouldn't let him do it for free.
What a guy. What a guy. I wouldn't pay him. Sully's a good friend of ours. A good friend of a brother of a good friend of ours, and I love him. I probably wouldn't pay him though, but but respect for you for doing it. But okay, so you got so business starts taking off. Today you have your own shop?
Yeah, today I have my own shop.
Okay, and what's your daily schedule like? What's a normal day for Javon?
So start out the year, I was doing like 5 cars a day.
Okay. And how much does each car take?
So typically on an average to do a full car, it's like $250.
Okay.
And that covers all your side windows and the back glass. But SUVs and trucks, it's a little, the pricing is a little bit different for those.
Okay. What about time wise? What for you? How long does it take? Car comes in. How quick can you finish it up?
I can get a car done if I want to get it done quickly. I can get it done in an hour, hour and a half. But like I typically try to take my times. Like I give each car, I typically tell a customer like 2.5 to 2 hours because I like to take my time, especially with like back windows. I would say this is the hardest part of tinting any car, the back window and the little quarter windows. Those are typically sometimes on some cars though they're like the easiest ones because they just have a border and they don't have like a seal you got to tuck it into. Yeah. There's so many things I'm talking about. I feel like you're like, oh, what are you talking about?
Well, I'm trying to visualize them, but you know, it's again like tinting. It's so niche. You know, like I honestly wouldn't have even thought before this that you could have started a business. You know, and now you're doing it full time. You're making good money off of it. Not only is it full time, but you're making good money. But it blows my mind, you know, so.
Cause like I really got into it not necessarily because of the money, but because like I enjoyed it. Like I go to work every day. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. That's the best. I mean, that's the best type of work there is.
Yeah.
Like, if you even want to call it work.
Yeah. Like when I went to the tint competition in Florida.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that. I'm on the vacation rental management side of things, you know, another kind of niche industry. I went out to a conference in Vegas thinking there'd be 200, 300 people. I show up, there's like 3,000 people. I'm like, what? Where are you guys coming from? I didn't even know there were 3,000 rental companies across the U.S. But and then the same thing with the tinting thing. I'm sure. How many? I mean, what was that? Was it more of a how does that work? Was it more of a competition or was it a conference?
Competition and a networking event. So and training. You got pretty much everything there. So you're being trained on tint, paint protection film, and then you had people competing for pretty much fastest and who can like be the most accurate with like their cuts and stuff like that. Okay. But it was.
And was it just for cars? I know you did
I do
windows at my parents' house, but is it just for cars there?
Yeah, that was just for cars.
For cars, okay.
I'm actually going to GeoShield, which is my my film manufacturer. I'm actually going to a conference in Louisiana in June or July, one of them, but this summer. But it's pretty much a flat glass seminar, and flat glass is houses because those are typically the easier ones. But for some reason, it costs more for the film for houses than it does for cars. So, but they're pretty much just like a kind of like a training event, kind of. So they're pretty much going to be teaching you a lot of stuff about like how to sell flat glass and how to just be a better overall, or more informative to your customers. Okay. So it should be fun. Yeah. I've never been to Louisiana.
And how many people were at the last competition?
So I'd say probably like 200-300 maybe.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it was. So actually,
and do you think that was 200 to 300 companies?
Yeah. Or
was it multiple people from?
There's multiple people from multiple companies. I wish I knew the numbers actually. Yeah. Because it was so nice to be in that environment. It was like, yo, people who like cuss at tint all day. Yeah. Like other people
you can nerd out, right? You can talk about all these. I'm sure all weekend it was just tint. It
was like tint. And it was also like, I met like this one guy from, he's young like me, but I think he's a little bit younger. He's lives in Georgia, Atlanta. And we actually met through Facebook. Like he saw me like that I played soccer and everything. He was like, yo, he messaged me on Facebook. He's like, man, can I have your number? This and that. I'm like, yeah. I was like, cool. And we called and we talked for like hours on the phone. And then we ended up meeting at Tinner Battles in Florida for the first time like this year. And he's just been a cool guy. And then I'm like, yo, it's nice to have people like that I literally met this guy through the internet, and now we're like really good friends.
Good buddies. Yeah, that's awesome. Is another question is, so you're going back to your daily schedule. You said you were trying to do 5 cars a day, right?
Five cars.
And each one took about an hour to 2 hours or so. So is that taking up most of your day? Is doing the cars themselves, or do you try to work in a little bit of marketing time, a little bit of business development or networking or accounting? Like, how do you sort of balance everything?
So I kind of do everything all at once. So I'll say I'll schedule 2 cars before 12 o'clock, and then I'll schedule the rest of them after that, and I'll have a break at some point during the day. Sometimes I don't even have a break because I'm just doing everything as far as checking a customer out, talking to customers, answering the phone, and doing everything. So I'm learning every day to become better with it. Like it affected my last relationship because of like just being doing that much stuff, and like people don't realize how much work goes into like running a business like that. It's a lot of work, and like it's rewarding, but it's a lot of work to get that reward. So it's I'm learning, so it's nice.
So you said it was starting to hurt a little bit of your relationship. Is that one big thing I'm trying to focus on this year is time management, right? Is being efficient with your time, making sure me personally, how I do it is I want to focus blocks on, I want to do marketing here, and I want to do, in the business stuff. For you, that would be actually tinting the cars.
Yeah.
Is that something you're trying to figure out? You talked a little bit about you want to get maybe an employee or two, and you've got kind of solely doing the intern marketing work. Are you trying to figure out ways to get more efficient, or is it just grind for you?
So I'm trying to find ways to become more efficient. Like I want to, like my goal by the end of the summer or even midsummer is to hire somebody that I can trust. Cause like it's hard to find good work nowadays. And especially in like the tinting industry.
Nowadays, dude, you're young. I feel like we're both young. You talk about you've been around for 20 years.
No, like, so even, like, so I've worked plenty of other jobs, like growing up, and like some of these employees like I've worked with every day, they were like so bad. I'm like, why? Like, I don't want to hire some people like that I can't rely on, if that makes sense. So like I've been working since I was 16 or 15 actually. As far as hiring people, like I need to find somebody. I would say I kind of want to find like a younger person that's like ambitious, like want more, I guess, and somebody that would actually like. Honestly, I want somebody who's smarter than me.
Yeah.
Because I want to learn from them.
Right.
But it's like my goal by the end of the summer is to hire somebody. And by the time I do that, I want to be able to like step away just a little bit so I can have a little bit more time to myself, like as far as like doing all the other parts that you need to do to successfully run a business.
Right.
But hiring somebody to do at least the work would like free up a lot of my time to do a lot more. So by 5 o'clock hits, 6 o'clock hits every day, I don't have a lot to do.
Right. So you want your first hire to be someone more doing the technical, doing the actual business work itself,
or even somebody as like a helper, like just a helper,
just like an assistant,
to like help me and like take the calls.
Yeah.
Somebody I can teach about tint. Like, oh yeah, you got carbon tint, you got ceramic, you got super ceramic, you got dyed tint, but that's like just something I really want to get put into the
figured out before definitely is. Do you think you talked a little bit about, you've been around a lot of people that in different careers, maybe you were a busboy or a waiter or whatever it is, and you do see a lot of unmotivated people. Do you think that's more of a condition of the environment they're in? A condition of they're not super motivated about working in a restaurant or working in a shop or whatever it is, or do you think that's more just the people are lazy and don't want to do anything? Like, do you think? I guess what I'm asking is, do you think you'll be able to kind of develop a culture in your company and bring in people that once you get them in there, they are going to succeed because they love doing what they do?
Yeah. So like. I realize a lot of people, they solely work because of money. Like that's like their main thing. Like I want people to actually enjoy. So like tinting a car is actually fun and satisfying. Like you've seen the videos. Like it's satisfying. So like you're pretty much relaxed all day, like just putting plastic on windows.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much what it is.
Your headphones on.
So like people, exactly. With your headphones on, like chilling, relaxing. But like and then in the end you'll make decent money doing it. And like people don't realize that you can actually enjoy it. So a lot of people, they just get jobs that just to get through. And I want to create a culture where people can actually, like, they come to work every day and they're happy, and like they can live, just kind of express themselves, you know what I mean?
And have the opportunity to grow and whatnot.
Yeah, have the opportunity to grow. Because like honestly, like I'm at work, I'm recording, I'm doing random stuff, like funny stuff happen all the time.
Yeah.
But like honestly, not now that I'm thinking about it, like I should probably put those in the videos, because like I feel like that'd be funny,
right.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
people like the authentic stuff.
Yeah.
You know, for sure. Are you worried about? It's definitely got to be a little scary. You know, bringing someone on, they're probably gonna be older than you, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Are you worried about one? You know, I guess, living up to being a good leader, and then two, are you worried about people coming in and taking you serious, and you know, because they look at you, 24, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, someone comes in, they're 30, 35, maybe it's a guy, and he's thinking to himself, why am I working to a 24-year-old? Is that something you're worried about, or you think you're comfortable in that leader sort of role?
I think
something you'll learn.
I think it's something I'll learn also, and it's something I can see myself getting comfortable with. I would hope, like, it's my business, not like you're representing me at the same time. It doesn't matter. My age doesn't matter at this point. I've made it this far. I feel like you should at least acknowledge and recognize that, like, yo, this guy is doing something that not a lot of people his age does. Right. And it's helping you out in the long run. So I feel like it's something like somebody older, if somebody older comes in, they can actually like take me seriously. And like, I'm not going to be a pushover. That's like, you cannot be a pushover. And so like, I don't think it's a little bit intimidating to have somebody older.
Right? I mean, have you, besides Sully, have you ever had and so I'm not counting Sully as an employee, especially if he listens to this. But I mean, besides him, you've never had an employee, right? Employee.
No. Well, so I had my cousin.
Okay. So family. We're not counting family, but yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely anything you've never done, you know, is going to be scary. And like you said, as long as you're willing to learn and grow, I don't think you'll have a problem with it.
Like I've tried to train a few people, but it just didn't work out. As far as like. I solely believe in, no matter what, you should at least try to be at work and at least try to show an effort to show like you want this. Right. Like I've had a few people that I've tried out with, and just because of their mentality, like I just kind of put it off and just like, I don't want to mess with this anymore. Yeah. Like I want something else, and you're just not it. Yeah,
I get it, man. You gotta be tough. I'm definitely guilty of being the guy that wants everyone to like them. Yeah. And that's tough in a leadership role, you know, because you've got to sometimes be the bad cop. You know what I mean? You got to have both sides. You got to be stern. And I mean, someone told, I remember hearing, part of integrity is the ability to, you know, sometimes saying something that might not feel so integral or so nice. Mm-hmm. You know, if you're just leading someone on, whether it's an employee or whatever it is, it's detrimental to everyone, and you know, it's a low integrity thing. So I'm with you on that. So where do you think the business is going? Like, where do you want to be in 5 years? Obviously, it's growing. It's a proven model. Mm-hmm. You're going to be around for sure, but where do you want it to be in the 5 years? Are you going to be really aggressive or kind of a slow growth? Where do you want to be?
Honestly, I kind of want to go big. Eventually, my goal is to own multiple Shade Pros around. So like it's more than just that one
almost
location.
Like a franchise thing, or
kind of like a franchise thing. So like I want to create something nobody in my family's done. Right. And but as far as that, like I've met a few shop owners from all over, like Tennessee, New York, places all over, but I want to eventually open. It's like there's a company around. So Black Optics, they have multiple locations down here.
Okay. Another tinting company.
Yes, another tinting company. there's also Sunstoppers, and they have multiple locations around South Carolina and Virginia and stuff like that. But I kind of Sunstoppers, I would say, is like kind of like who more like I'm aiming to be like, or that's the shop that I see myself being more like, where they have I think they have a pretty good business model where they have multiple. I think the owner actually lives down here in Myrtle Beach. Okay, I'm not sure though, but
probably a good thing to figure out if you want to copy what he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to eventually own
multiple locations.
Multiple locations.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. And wrapping it up, if someone, younger, we talked about how you started. If someone was younger, they were working another job just to pay the bills, how would they get started? Just in terms of opening up a legal business, and then also, getting clients and making sure it's something they could do for the long term, and it's something that would work in their market. How would you recommend that they get going?
I'd say the main thing for them would be putting out quality. Quality is the most important thing you could possibly put out over quantity, because like you don't want to
even early on.
Okay. Like even like earlier on, like if you're just doing family friends cards, like yes, that's understandable. Just always let them know like what your skill level is. If your skill level is not that advanced, like just let them know. Like being straight up honest with customers, it will take you a long way. Because like I'll tell customers just how it is. I'm not gonna like oh yeah, everything's fine. Like I'm like, if everything is,
even the guy that rolls up with a Ferrari, you're still gonna be like, I've never done one of these before. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Still, you'll be honest with them.
I'm gonna be straight up honest with them. Like people trust me because like it's because of my brand that I built so far. Like if you find me on Google, I'm 5-star rated. Like it's all good reviews and they're all real. Every single one of them are real. So like when people go through them and actually read them, they can actually see like, oh yeah, this guy's like, oh, Javon did this, and then like they'll have pictures to back it up, right, or just anything to pretty much back it up. And so like it's getting those reviews in is huge too, starting out, because like if you don't get them out, people are not gonna really know or really trust you. Like I think I have like probably like 81, 80, somewhere like 5-star reviews now, and I try to make every single customer happy before they leave or when I'm done with their house.
And how do you encourage your customers to leave you a review? Like what,
So I have a thing called TintWiz. TintWiz is amazing. Like it's specifically built for window tinting shops. And I've been using it for like 3 years now. So I was using like a free trial for a little bit, but I've been using it for like 3 years now. And it's honestly the best thing for the tinting industry. So like I subcontract that Myrtle Beach window tint every now and then, and I've been trying to teach them like, yo, you guys need this. You guys need this because like if you don't like to be more efficient and to close a lot more jobs, it's easier to use TintWiz than it is.
And what does it exactly do? Is that where it's a CRM, but it sends them in reminders to leave a review? Does it send them the invoice? Is that all managed in one spot?
Everything's all managed in one spot.
That's
scheduling.
Awesome. Yeah.
But you have to do scheduling yourself. Okay. So they can't just go online and like, I want to give it a 10.
Like, some things you can't automate.
Yeah,
I get that.
I don't like that. You don't have to like people just doing that and like requesting time. I want to tell them like, yeah, you're gonna be here at this time. Like, give me a list of times you have available, and I'll give you what I can get done for you. Okay. So like that's the thing I like about TintWiz, and you can put documents in there for them to sign, waivers. You have pre-made quotes. Okay. So like it literally takes me like 30 seconds to send over customer quote after they contact me, and I just send it there. I have a link there for the deposit. I have a link for so it's like a shopping cart once the customer receives it. Right. And they can literally just go in there, click and add and approve. And
it's easy, right?
Yeah,
it's not anything complicated. It's just click and
just click and go.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, yeah, I remember seeing your reviews, and they were all. Is it still perfect 5-star
on the Google? Yes. Facebook, I had
See, this is what I was going to say though. Is the perfect 5 stars on Google were tripping me up a bit. I know you had a bunch of them, but it was still, I was almost like, dude, you should go just get like, have someone 4-star you just to get that like 4.98. It looks a little bit more real. Like the 5-star after 80 plus reviews or however many reviews you have is like kind of hard to believe. So that's what was tripping me up.
Like some people don't believe it. But like they're all 100% real. And so on Facebook, there's like so when I was still using Facebook Marketplace,
right,
there was like this customer that contacted me and they wanted to get their car done. And I gave them a price and they didn't like it. So they were trying to get it for significantly cheaper. I was like, all right, that's not, I think I just stopped replying to them because they were just on Facebook Marketplace and like my business name was nowhere close to it. And they somehow found my, my Facebook Instagram page and they just went on there and there's like, this guy's terrible, this, that. And I'm like, the guy even made some threats.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't even. It was a guy that was trying to get your service for cheaper, and then he just went after you.
He's like, "You're doing mobile tint. Like, it doesn't even matter." I'm like, "I'm still gonna produce quality work." Like,
hey man, if you got that's a good sign. If you got haters, you're doing something right. You know what I mean? So it sounds like you're killing it, dude. I know you're killing it. Yeah. So I'm happy you came and talked to me today. I learned a bunch. You know,
there's a lot more to learn.
There's a ton more to learn. I could talk to you for 3 hours, but I think we'd start to lose people in the technicalities of tinting. I think that's just keep it to yourself type of thing. But thanks for coming on, dude. It was a lot of fun. First podcast, guys. We're gonna keep working hard, figure out the name, figure out some more guests. But it's a good place to start, and I appreciate you coming on, dude.
Of course, man.
Thanks. Where can they find you, social media wise, business wise? What's the best places?
So for business, Shade Pro Tint for everything. Shade Pro Tint on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
TikTok. Okay, you got to be on TikTok.
You got to be on TikTok.
And your personal?
Parchment_7.
Parchment_7. All right, you heard it here first, guys. There we go. That's the end.